Welcome to Doodle Healing the Warrior Way podcast, where your life is your masterpiece. I'm Cindy Bayles, your Doodle Warrior Coach, here to help you turn self-doubt into unshakable confidence, rediscover your purpose, and create a life you can't wait to wake up to. Grab your favorite pen and let's doodle your way to clarity, joy, and freedom, one episode at a time. Maya Angelou said, I learned a long time ago the wisest thing I can do is to be on my own side. I love this quote. When I was younger, I never thought about being on my own side. Like, really, what does that even mean? I never learned or saw examples in my life of women being on their own side. I was taught to be responsible, to work hard, to keep going, and to put other people first. But nobody really showed me how to treat myself with the same care I would give everyone else. So today I want to talk about what it really means to be on your own side. For a long time, I did all the things that I thought I was supposed to do. I showed up for my family. I handled all the problems, fixed dinner, and kept our home semi-organized. From the outside, it looked like a strength, but inside I was doing something very different. I avoided my feelings and then exploded at minor things. I pushed myself past my limits and then was overwhelmed and exhausted in my life. I made everything someone else's fault and complained about all of it. I berated myself for not doing more and not being better than I was, but then did less because I was so overwhelmed. I pushed myself to do better and be better until I couldn't push myself anymore, and I called it hard work. This is called self-abandonment, but I called it self-discipline. I didn't understand that I was working against myself instead of working alongside of myself. Most of us learn to motivate ourselves with pressure. We criticize and tell ourselves that we are behind. We use shame to remind us of our shortcomings, and we use comparison of other people's strengths against our weaknesses to pressure ourselves to change. And then we wonder why we feel so defeated. That kind of motivation might get us through a day, but it keeps us from having a trusting relationship with ourselves. It teaches us to be afraid of making mistakes and makes growth feel risky instead of possible. Over time, it leaves us wondering why we feel so bad. So this doodle girl standing in front of a mirror changed my relationship with myself. And so she's standing here. Here is my representation of me. So here's the doodle girl looking in a mirror at herself. And they're holding hands, which represents to me love and acceptance. When I doodled this, it had a huge impact on me. I finally started to understand what being on my own side was. Being on your own side means allowing yourself to feel all the emotions and being available for yourself instead of turning away the moment things feel uncomfortable and telling yourself you shouldn't feel that way. It means listening and responding to your own needs and offering yourself the same loyalty you would give to someone you love. This is not selfishness. It is self-respect. She is asking, what do you need and how can I help you? These are simple but powerful questions. And when was the last time you asked yourself a question like this? What do you need? How can I help? This is something I'm still working on. I tend to avoid myself much of the time, and I know that I don't ask this question near often enough. Think about what would happen if you ask yourself, what do you need right now? And you answer the question honestly, and then were generous in giving yourself what you need. Yeah, me too. It's kind of shocking if I could ask myself what I needed and really gave myself that, what that would mean to me. Doodling was a tool that helped me notice how I was treating myself. When I doodle, I slow down enough to see what is happening inside. My thoughts have a place to be heard, and my emotions have a felt. And my emotions have a place to be felt. I can see them instead of just reacting to them. That small bit of space made a huge difference for me. Instead of automatically pushing myself, I could pause and ask better questions. Better questions such as, what do I need right now? What would help me most today? And how would I talk to a friend in this same situation? Those questions help me begin to stand with myself instead of against myself. So in this doodle, she is answering her. And she says, I need to be seen. I need a hug. I need a nap. I just need a minute and want validation. and I want to be heard. Really powerful, aren't they? And then Doodle Me responds back and says, she's validating her, and she says, you are doing great. And she says, I love you no matter what. And she's showing her love. And then she encourages her by saying, this takes courage. And then she says, I see you, and giving herself acceptance. I hear you. And she's listening, and you can be the change, and giving her power to make changes. Another compassionate response that she says is, take a break. And then she's kind and says, just breathe, I've got you. I am so proud of you. Validation again. Just think about this. What would it be like to you if someone offered you these kind of answers? The good news is you can have this too. You can give it to yourself. This is the miracle of this work. You get to meet yourselves. We get to meet ourselves where we are by being on our own side. When we begin to be on our own side, small things start to change. Our decisions feel easier. Setbacks don't feel like disasters. We recover faster because we know we have our own back. And we stop quitting on ourselves before we even get started. Life doesn't suddenly become easy, but it does become kinder. And kindness has a calm strength to it, doesn't it? We can become someone we can rely on. Being on your own side doesn't make you soft. To be clear, being on your side does not mean you stop growing, lower your standards, or stop caring about your goals. It simply means you change how you talk to yourself. You can challenge yourself without tearing yourself down. When you can be honest with yourself and know that you will be heard, everything begins to shift. When you are honest and kind at the same time, you gain resilience. This is what being on your own side comes down to. Learning how to treat yourself like someone you care about, even while you are trying to grow. Midlife gives us a beautiful chance to do this differently, to stop pushing ourselves through life and start walking with ourselves like a friend through it instead. So here's the question I want to ask you today. If you were on your own side, what would you do differently today? Not perfectly and not forever, but just for today. That small action is where everything starts. If you want help exploring what being on your own side could look like in this next season of your life, take my quiz, What Do You Want in Your Next Chapter? You'll find the link in the show notes. And if you would like personal support, book a Becoming You session, where we look at where you are, what you want next, and how to start making friends with yourself. I'm Cindy, and this is Doodle Healing the Warrior Way. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening to Doodle Healing the Warrior Way podcast, where your life is your masterpiece. If today's episode inspired you, make sure to subscribe and share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement. Want more? Grab my free Doodle Your Vision Board guide. The link is in the description below. Remember, you are the warrior of your story. Your life, your masterpiece.